Understanding your clippers and liners and knowing how to use your hand mirror are the most important basic fundamentals to being excellent at cutting your own hair. I will take you through and teach you about the functions and techniques of using your clippers, liners, and hand mirror. For many of you all who are beginners, you're probably working with a set of Walls clippers, which will give you a solid, fresh haircut. They're not the most durable clippers, and in about a year you'll probably have to switch them out. But for the price, they're a great set of clippers to start out with and will definitely get the job done. The clippers I'll be using today are the Andis Masters. These clippers are a really good all-around clipper, but what makes them really special is that they make it really easy to give a fresh, crisp, clean taper on the sides and in the back of your haircut. You can buy this on my website for about $85. Now, if you're a beginner and you're thinking to yourself, well, my haircut won't turn out as good since I'm using beginner clippers. That's wrong. It's not true. The thing that I've learned in my 5 years of cutting my own hair is that it's not about the clipper. It's about the techniques you develop. So don't get hung up on the clippers. Just focus on getting the techniques down and you'll be good to go. The first thing I want to talk about is how the clippers actually work. So most clippers are all pretty similar and they all have the same functionality. So every clipper has two blades. One blade is actually bolted down to the clipper and doesn't move, while the one that sits on top of that one actually moves back and forth, and that's what actually cuts the hair. So just to demonstrate how it works, one blade sits still like this, while the other one sits on top of it and goes back and forth like this. And as the hair goes through the teeth of the blade, it cuts the hair or clips the hair. Now, to talk about adjusting the height of your haircut or how close it's cutting to your scalp, you actually have to use the lever, which is located on the side of every clipper. And when the lever is actually all the way up, this is referred to as being closed or all the way closed. And when it's all the way closed, you are cutting at the lowest height possible without a guard. Now, when the lever is all the way down, this is referred to as open or all the way open. And when your clipper is all the way open, you're cutting at the highest height possible without a guard. Now, when it comes to your tapers, which are on the side and back, or your fades, this comes in pretty handy because you have to use this when you're making the different levels that make your hair look like it's fading out to give it that effect. So, you know, you have to adjust your lever while you're doing your taper, and that'll all be explained through the haircut. Now, to talk about guards. What are guards? Guards are used to cut your hair at a specific height or to take off a certain amount of hair. They're called guards because they protect you from cutting your hair too low. So, when you have a guard on, you can't cut your hair any lower than the height of the guard that you have on your clipper. There are 3 guards that you need to cut your hair. Those are the 1/16, the 3/16, and the 5/16. The second tool I want to talk about is your liner. This liner that I'll be using is the Andis Outliner. I really like this liner. It's the only one I've ever used. It's been very durable. I've had it since I've started cutting hair. I don't think there's such thing as a beginner liner, so I recommend that you purchase one of these, the Andis Outliner. It's very durable. I've only had to change the blade in 5 years. I've probably only had to change the blade 3 or 4 times, so that's pretty good. You can buy this on my website for about $45, I believe, and it's a really good clipper, and it's been my favorite thing to use. This doesn't have, what makes this thing different than the clipper is that it has an on and off button, but it does not have a lever. In essence, it is already automatically set to being all the way closed, to cut as close as possible. So when you're doing your hairline, you want the blades to be very close together, so it can give a very sharp cut and not miss any of the hair on your hairline.